So let's just get this stream going. Oh. I want to hear your thoughts as well, guys. Obviously, there's meeting today. I don't know if anybody's seen the meetings today. Why can't I see this? Yay, we're there. Okay, finally, I got this going. Hooray! If you don't know what's been happening, I'm really surprised. Okay, cool. We're there. We're there. Well, hey. Right. So, as you know, or if you've been following the news, UK government, so Keir Starmer, has had this meeting with the Chinese government, Xi Jinping, today. So Keir Starmer is in Beijing, and the relationship, I think, is on the mend, which I've been banging the drum for kind of UK-China relations for over 10 years now. So the good news is they've had really productive talks. And I'm delighted at that because that's honestly the main parts of my business, is being this bridge between the UK and China. And unfortunately, sometimes in China, a lot of UK companies don't get the right kind of information about how to do business in China. So they're very lost. They want a piece of China, so they want to do business in China, but they don't know the process. They don't know how to actually go about it. And finally, I think this is going to open up. It's been 8 years in the making. Now, the most interesting development, I think, is they are going to sign off on some business deals, which is good to see. But also, wow. So these are a few of the developments. So Keir Starmer says the relationship between the UK and China is in a good, strong place. Right. Good news. Tick, tick, tick. Which he hasn't really said before. He said some comments recently, but after productive talks with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in Beijing. Great. The PM, Prime Minister, says progress has been made on issues including whiskey tariffs. So here we go. If you're in the whiskey trade, you're going to be doing well. And visa-free travel to China. So that is the big announcement. What that means, I think, now is if you have a British passport, you can, although I've got a visa, it doesn't really matter, but if you have a British passport, you can come to China for 30 days, visa-free. Now, at the moment, it's only Hainan. Now it's going to open up to the whole of mainland China, which is bloody brilliant. I've been banging on about this for a long time. Finally, UK British citizens can come to China visa-free. They can travel. They can explore this wonderful country. They can do business a lot more easily. So I'm absolutely delighted. And share your thoughts, by the way, guys, in the chat below, what you think to this, because I think this is really positive. Xi Jinping has said that engagement is unavoidable. Excellent. I'm delighted to hear that as well. And the pharma firm AstraZeneca is announced 15 billion investment in China. I think we've known about that for a while. I think that's already been in stuff. And also, Xi Jinping and Keir Starmer are expected to sign off on a border security pact to disrupt the supply of small boat engines. Amazing. Like, this is the kind of news I've been wanting to hear for years now, right? This is just amazing news. And I'm absolutely delighted, because I think this is one step towards getting back to where we were in what we call the golden period of, was it 2010 to 2015? Or no, sorry, 2010 to 2018 was like that golden period where Xi Jinping went to the UK, and but they need to do more of this. I think this is the most important thing about this, is they need to be meeting a lot more. They need to be getting that kind of thing a lot more. So absolutely delighted. Okay. So that's really positive news. Again, this is what I love when leaders say this. Like, this is what the Chinese leader said, right? This is what Xi Jinping has said. To rise above their differences, right? Let it go. Let things go. Like, rise above, find common ground, rise above your differences. And what a great quote that is. You know, there was some other concerns and things put on the table, which is good. First UK Prime Minister to visit China in 8 years. But I think the most exciting thing is the fact that they're meeting, right? This meeting alone, I've been very envious of even the Americans. Even Trump has met Xi Jinping more. But finally, Keir Starmer has met Xi Jinping. This is what I've been talking about for a long time now. They need to meet. They need to have common ground. Find a way. So, good news. Good news. I mean, selfishly for me, it's kind of good because obviously I'm British. And I just want to see better relations generally between UK and China. But hopefully we're going to see more British businesses, more British schools, universities, student accommodation, B2B, B2C, finally waking up to China, which I've been banging on about all over my social media, that if you're a British business and you've got budget and you want a piece of China, you need to be in the market. You can't see it as like a Q 2027. You need to start doing things now. So really delighted at this news. 3-day visit. I wish he could come to Shanghai. That's the, Beijing is great, but so there's going to be some interesting deals. So both the UK and Chinese governments have said that they want to sign trade and investment cooperation agreements during the visit, which would be the first step in a reset and broadening of economic engagement after several years. Any announcements are likely right. So there's going to be focus on this is interesting for business, green energy, pharmaceuticals, healthcare. What I've been banging on about for the last year: pharmaceuticals, healthcare, life sciences, everything I've been talking about for the last year, creative industries and professional services, such as finance and education. Everything I've been banging on about for the last year, everything that they've agreed, they're agreeing. And this is stuff I've been talking about for the last year. Chinese investment. I think the other thing is it isn't just about UK companies going to China. This is also about Chinese companies going west, going overseas to the UK. So as Chinese companies, you need to be aware of this. So more investment into the UK automotive production. Jaguar Land Rover, they need serious help. So investment in, I think investment is good. Yeah, I agree with this. Success is unlikely to be measured by deals alone. Restarting regular face to face dialogue is critical to rebuild confidence in the trade relationship and unlock future investment. Yes, that is superb. No, that's not me in the cover. That's clever AI that my thumbnail. Literally, guys, I just quickly made something in like less than a minute, and it came up with that. The faces of Keir Starmer and Xi Jinping in my thumbnail look really good, but me, I do not look like me at all. Commercial agreements, improved market access for British companies in China. Yes, yes, yes. And a rise in UK exports and inbound Chinese investment would all be seen as concrete wins. This is what I've been banging on about for the last year. It's all I've been talking about, and now it's come to fruition. Well, I say it's come to fruition. It's deals in the making. It's a step in the right direction, a positive step in the right direction. So I'm delighted. I feel like Christmas has come. I feel like this has really opened up. It's bilateral agreements. It's the kind of stuff that countries should do. I like that because obviously Xi Jinping likes football, doesn't he? Starmer gifts Xi football from Man United Arsenal match. That's a bit of a shame because I'm an Arsenal supporter and we lost that match, but never mind. Upon meeting Xi earlier today, Starmer handed the Chinese president a rather unusual gift: the football used during last weekend's English Premier League match between Manchester United and Arsenal, which we unfortunately lost. Oh, he's a supporter. Oh, interesting. She is reported to be a supporter of Manchester United. I didn't know that. Interesting. Didn't know he's a Man United supporter. Oh, yeah, because Keir Starmer supports Arsenal. Yeah, that is true. Keir Starmer, an avid football fan, is regularly seen at Arsenal games. Yeah, so this is really good news. And hopefully I'm positioned in the right way because on LinkedIn and over all of these social media apps, I've just been banging on all year about I'm the go-to guy for China, strategy, marketing, boots on the ground. That's all I ever talk about. And now companies are going to wake up finally, I think, and see, yeah, this needs to be, you need to look at this. If you're a British company, you need to be looking at China, and vice versa. If you're a Chinese company, look at the UK. UK is a desirable destination to do business. And you've got me. You've got that lovely bridge. You got me as a bridge. So yeah. Finally. I could almost cry. So it's just when when you've been working on something for so long, I've been banging on about UK companies need to come to China. Like some of these UK companies, if they'd have been doing stuff from last year, they'd have been in an absolutely amazing position right now. And you'd be in amazing position in a year's time, if we do stuff together. But just get things going, just have meetings and find common ground. I like this. Is interesting. Britain is a prodigal son. I like it. This is a really nice quote. So, commentator and former editor-in-chief of the Global Times, Hu Xijing, I think I got that pronunciation right, has dubbed Britain the prodigal son who has returned to embrace China. I like that. Although I never left, by the way. I was always here. I never left China. I've been here the whole time. I'll say that. I've never left. I've always been in Shanghai. I didn't leave. On Chinese social media, some other users have dubbed Starmer another Carney. Yeah, he's clever, Mark Carney. He got there a month early. Again, this is the thing about being British. Sometimes we are a bit slow on things. Yeah, because when Mark Carney met Xi Jinping at the beginning of this month, they signed a load of trade deals, didn't they? Which is good. She hailed the turnaround of ties. Yeah. Finally, yeah. And I don't like this. I've seen some media outlets saying like cozying up to China. I don't think it's cozying up. I think it's leaders meeting, finding common ground, finding a way forward. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be agreements, like any family or any friends. But you find common ground, right? You don't not talk for 8 years and then I just hope they don't do the same thing again in the future. I want them both to talk. It's more the UK government, I'd say. Oh, what was that? I saw something about. Interesting. So Starmer did the typical Laowai things. He did he went to the Forbidden City. Good. Good news. So yeah. I'm absolutely delighted that things are kind of moving in the right way. UK seeks more sophisticated relationship with China. Yeah, I agree with that. You shouldn't just cut off. You should find common ground. Oh, interesting. China is the UK's third largest trading partner. Interesting. But there isn't a trade. See, this is where the balance needs to happen again. Is the UK imports far more goods than it sells to China? Yeah, that makes sense. But there's so many great products and services, education that we're not selling. UK is not selling to China, so hopefully this will kind of add some rocket fuel, a bit of trajectory into things. But yeah, the AstraZeneca $15 billion business. I knew that one. I think I've heard about that one months ago. That one's not news. That's not news. So yeah, I'm delighted. Alistair, can you join this live stream? It'd be good to get Alistair on. Alistair's a top expert, not just with etiquette. He's the #1 etiquette coach in China. but he's also very knowledgeable, a very good friend of mine. One of the few Brits that Starmer should be meeting, actually. He should be meeting, because Alistair's in Beijing. I don't know if I can invite you. He's a bit of a mentor of mine, a good friend. He's a good friend, mentor, says it as it is, doesn't talk BS. He's very knowledgeable in China and the UK as well. Very good friend of mine. Can I add you in? I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's annoying because you would be the perfect person to put in here. That's really frustrating. Alistair really knows his stuff. Like, you guys, when it comes to etiquette, you know, as much as I love William Hanson and his stuff, like, Alistair knows his stuff and he can deliver. Let's see if I can. Can I call him? I don't know if this is going to work.
Hello.
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Did you want to be on this live stream or not?
Yeah, I'd love to. If you can join me in, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can't get you in. I don't know why, but I'm live streaming across 3 platforms right now. So I got WeChat going, I got TikTok, and I got YouTube. What are your thoughts?
Okay.
Obviously, you're in Beijing, so what's your thoughts on today?
Well, I mean, I basically saw similar to what you did. You know, basically, going in and out of a Yunnan restaurant and stuff like that. And I thought, you know, so they're doing the cultural stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, well, Starmer's not been here before, so I mean, you know, he probably had to look on a map to find out where China was.
He's funny as well. He's funny. He always makes me laugh. Yeah. But he's doing the typical sort of Laowai tour, right? He's doing the
Yeah, he probably thinks China's somewhere off the coast of France.
Yeah. Okay.
But obviously, as you were saying, it's good that they've obviously, you know, made an effort and got the butts on a plane to come here, because, you know, this political posturing, sitting on your home turf is not how China works, as you well know. If you want to build anything serious, you know, in China you have to show intent.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that, as we know. And your intent is basically turning up here, chewing the fat, you know, having the dinner, slug a few Mau Tais and shoot the shit and see which direction you're going to go. Because as you said, politics is all about, you know, trading concessions. British culture, Chinese culture, you know, in some ways poles apart. But obviously, you know, when I look at things from an etiquette and cultural point of view, a lot of similarity. So what they need to do is to basically, you know, look at the similarities and see where the way forward is. And, you know, obviously try and find more positives than negatives.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, find a way forward based on the negatives and, you know, see what kind of agreements they can come to. Because as we know at the moment, you know, the New World Order is changing rapidly before our eyes. You know, the US is no longer the steadfast, reliable go-to partner for not only for China, for UK, for many countries.
Yeah.
So, and as you were just saying, you know, Mark Carney was over here the other week, and he was showing his intent as well. And of course, you know, China is more and more open, and China is very willing to deal with countries on an individual basis. You know, set up trade agreements, because as you just identified, the trade deficit for UK and China is massive. It's a huge black hole. And obviously, UK imports way more than it exports. But as I just said on the text, marketing of Britain is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
You got all these China-Britain business councils. You got British Chambers of Commerce. I've come across one this morning. Visit Britain.
Oh, don't get me started on those guys.
And I was like, but I found out there's actually an office in Shanghai. And they've got, and last year, I mean, if you go on the website, but it was actually quite interesting because if you went to the website, last year there was 463,000 Chinese people visited the UK, which is a massive increase year on year. But when they were there, they spent 1,500 quid.
And on average each, right?
What? On average each. Well, it cost 500 quid to get there.
And I was going to say, if you eat out in London for a few days, that £1,000 doesn't go far, right? And the hotels.
Right, a bowl of noodles in London, 700 quid. And then you add in the hotel, so that's another third out of the 1,500 quid. So, all these visitors basically spent 5,000 quid on their holidays. And I'm going that's just insane, And then it said visitors, but it didn't say whether they were business visitors. There was no demographic of where that broke down. Obviously then, you're able to value, maybe you got some, Dagos, go and buy some luxury bags and stuff like that, bring back. You didn't know what were students, you didn't know what the age demographics, there was nothing behind it. So, the data was really kind of fickle, where you couldn't really extract anything from it. Not that I'm a great data analyst, but, it would be interesting to see how they reach some of this spend data.
Yeah.
And as I say, the reason that we don't do more is because basically the marketing of British ability, British culture is shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. Because I was thinking yesterday, Keir Starmer, they turned up in Beijing, and you've got 80 CEOs of UK companies, 80.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's all very good, they can negotiate and they can find partners, but I'm thinking where's the soft power diplomacy in those 80 people? Where are things like the Grenadier Guards in their bearskin suits? Where are things like, the Paddington Bear who, runs out the door?
Yeah, where's the branding?
These are all... Exactly. And there's none of it. No matter where Keir Starmer goes to, but if you've got a guardsman sat there in his red tunic and his bearskin, that would really kind of, push some of the brand. And all the guy's got to do is literally just stand there. But that they just don't think in a marketing terminology. It's like, all these organisations, it's all for the big membership payers, but there's nothing in terms of, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
As I said to yesterday, I put on LinkedIn, they've got all these British trade people coming. There's no civic reception, so that ordinary British people in China cannot get anywhere near all these people that have come from London.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking and for your business, for my business, you grab a photo with the trade minister. That's hugely powerful for your marketing. Massive.
Well, I think they should have done that. They should have done that in Beijing at least. They should have identified, okay, who are the...
They never did.
There must be less than 50 probably Brits that, like yourselves, that have been here for 10 years plus and are actually... And that's not the Chinese side. That's got to come from the UK, right? And it doesn't take a lot for a few those consulate people to just bring some Brits, and
that's what do is hand-picked audiences. That's what they do.
Yeah, but it's just officially been announced, by the way, this 30-day they've just officially announced. I got the scoop before it was released. So
cool.
yeah, so yeah, it's just officially been announced that, you know, if you're a Brit coming here, it's visa-free travel anywhere in China. Well, obviously, you know, there's you know, I think for a place like Xinjiang and places like that, you might use permit, I think, but visiting China for under 30 days, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, that's a big positive move, because, you know, there's been a lot of, in the background, kind of anti-Britishness going through the government here, because I remember about 2 years ago I was due to do an interview on CCTV, and at the last minute I got blocked off because the BBC had reported something that was uncomfortable. And like I say, you know, the fact that sometimes, you know, British media, they kind of go off doing their own thing, and they rattle people's cages, and you can't do that in China. You know, you need to be very diplomatic in how you report things.
Yeah.
And of course, then, you know, I mean, they don't care. You know, they want to report the stories, but what they tend to overlook is the fact that it makes life bloody difficult for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
But like you said, you know, that's between the devil and deep blue sea, isn't it? You know, the fact that they've been here, the fact that, you know, they've actually put boots on the ground is a positive move.
Yeah.
You know, what they need to do though is not just make that you know, like a one-stop solution. You know, they need to maintain the momentum, which the UK has really not done. You know, they had a wonderful opportunity in 2018. Well, I mean, it was Theresa May, but they still had the opportunity.
Yeah.
And they just never picked up the gauntlet, and they never ran with it. And, you know, I mean, we were both here in 2018. And look how far China has moved between 2018 and 2020.
Yeah, China's like, it used to be 10 steps ahead. Now it's hundreds, right? It's just moving at
I mean, there was no electric cars in 2018.
Yeah.
You know, the car of choice in 2018 was an Audi A6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're like they're like chicken's teeth now.
Well, I think that the interesting thing, just from a personal point of view, and you've probably got the same, is you and I have been banging on about a lot of this stuff for the last few years, and now it's finally there's sprouts of shoots of positivity coming out of this. And I know nothing's set in stone yet, but the visa thing that's pretty good. But I think that would be an interesting one if they can do some more stuff for the Chinese going the other way, because that was a big thing with Chinese tourists going to the UK, is they got rid of their duty, right? They didn't they have that? Was it VAT or whatever?
The duty free,
right? Yeah, and I think that really hindered things. So, because as we know, when Chinese tourists go to the UK, I always say this: when you're in the gift shop, who's buying stuff, right? It's not us, right? We might buy a magnet, but they're spending hundreds of pounds in these tourist attractions, and so yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that, Alistair, because you are the voice of reason when it comes to UK, China. I always say Alistair should be the head of the consulate. He should be the head of these organisations.
Yeah, I'm available at the moment. They can sign me up to be the next ambassador.
But yeah,
I don't mean free of charge. I mean free for time.
Yeah, true. But no, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Any final things? Because I'm actually going to cut this live stream soon. But any final comments that you wanted to make?
Well, so the one thing you've just added on there is, obviously we've been carping on these things for years.
Flying the flag, right?
Yeah, really. And like I say, they need to really kind of set the foot forward, because there's a lot of advantage to the UK to having a good relationship with China for a number of reasons. Not just things like student numbers, not just things like inbound tourism. There's loads of technology transfer that they can do, and things like TCM. You know, Chinese medicine could have massive benefit supplementing the NHS, but they just don't trust it.
Yeah.
And likewise, you know, the life sciences that you started to explore again, you know, the UK is a massive contributor to life sciences, which again could benefit China. So there's huge advantages on both sides of the fence. Like I say, what they need to do is really kind of stop shooting themselves in the foot and killing off things like duty free, which are big attractions, you know. And you know, really start to, like I say, you know, take the advice, you know, take the gloves off and knuckle down and really start to forge the relationships. Because I mean, you know, they talk about this golden era, and that's gone. That was a long time ago. It was a different era, different opportunity. But, you know, as I say, you know, China's perfectly willing and open to negotiate with people on equal terms.
Yeah.
You know, as long as, you know, they respect China and they respect China's position in the world, which unfortunately we've not been good at doing.
Yeah.
And you know, say, you know, I mean, they're very lucky because, you know, China is perfectly self-sustainable. And to be fair, you know, China's willing to cooperate because, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, people, oh, you know, we compete with China. No, you don't. No, not in a million years do you compete with China.
Well, you can offer them something. You can offer them something that maybe they can't quite get, right? Or they, like I always say, you know, if you got something that is so unique and difficult to copy, and also I'm just about to do this post actually, Alistair, on this. You know, we've got our own version of Labubu called Fugler, and it's getting really popular in China now. That's a great example of us kind of going the other way. Like we have an idea that's, you know, kind of going to compete with Popmart. I don't know how well it will do, but that's a very small example in B2C. But you're absolutely right. There's stuff in the UK that is Chinese audiences, consumers, young people, old people need, and whether it's products or services, or the big one, I think, which I still can't get my head around, is education. Why UK universities are not all over China like they should be, which we've already said, is still baffles me. Why they're not putting all their funds into China, I'm really surprised. But and also they're going to need people like you or I, you know, like those bridges and people that understand the market. And I mean, for your purposes, I mean, business etiquette, it's the number one thing that I'm still having meetings with people that can't get the basics right. I'm not talking about Chinese people. I'm talking about people in the West, right? So people in the UK.
But like they just see those superficial skills nowadays.
Yeah. So we've said about this. I mean, Alistair is the master of cultural intelligence. He kind of knows how to. So yeah, guys, connect with Alistair. Whether it's you can find his channels. He's a massive influencer and etiquette expert. And actually, I don't like that word expert. I think it's nonsense. When you meet these China experts, anyone that calls themselves an expert, they are not an expert. But I can say Alistair is.
You find the vast majority of them are not even in China.
I know, that's the irony. The China experts are not in mainland China. They don't even live here. But no, thank you, Alistair. Was there any final things you wanted to just sign off before?
Thank you very much for inviting me in. It's been nice to catch up.
Thank you. I'll try and sort you out on this whole WeChat video. Like, I'm really surprised. They should just. How are you getting with that? Because I can speak to the team and try and get you all set up on WeChat live stream.
It must be a setting because there's a friend of mine that does a live stream and he can invite up to 9 people at a time. So it must be something on your setting for your live stream.
Well, it's me. It's on my side. Yeah.
Something on your settings. Yeah. Because, like I say, a friend of mine, he does like one of these English corners, and he can have 9 people on his screen at any one time. But
are they Chinese? They're not.
Both. Yeah.
Both.
No, Chinese and foreign. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a foreigner anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look into that. But also, we need to get you up on the old live stream because, as you've seen, I've been live streaming a lot recently because I just see live streaming is just in the West. Yeah, it's blowing up right now.
I can't get on. Can you lend me like 9,500 followers?
I would very gladly, because then I'd only go down to 50,000 on WeChat. So, yeah.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too, pal. Appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for your love and support as always. Take care.
Always a pleasure. Nice
to chat. Okay. Cheerio.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's such a good friend. I have such esteem and words of love for him because he's been such a great friend. Oh God, I'm gonna get emotional. He's been a really good friend for many years now, and he's set me up with a lot of value, not business, but also he's just been a great friend. He's always been there for me. He's never, and he tells it as it is. He's a great friend to give me really good constructive feedback, and he does it in a way that you can see it's very measured, it's very intelligent, it's not critical. He's very good with that. He would be a great diplomat, actually, I think, Alistair Warwick Nelson. So yeah, really good friend of mine. And yeah. So yeah, so guys, I think I'm gonna cut it there. And if anyone has got any final comments, I'm going to cut it there. But I think I'm absolutely delighted, just to recap, that things are kind of moving in the right direction. This meeting between Starmer and Xi Jinping is really important. I don't usually discuss politics on my channel. I'm not a big political kind of guy. I'm interested in politics, but I don't like to really discuss it on my channel. But I think this had to be discussed because it's important, right? It's a positive thing. It's a good meeting. Brits can now come to China. I know it's not officially set in stone. Well, it's been announced that can come here for 30 days now. I can finally get my family to come here. I've been banging on about this. And hopefully there'll be some good visa news for Chinese going to the UK, because I think that needs to get sorted. And then for business, I think UK business is coming to China, and then Chinese business is going to the UK. This is only going to strengthen now. It's really moving in the right direction and positive. So get in touch if you do want to discuss. God, it is shaky. I do apologize about that. If you want to get in touch about business opportunities, I mainly focus on social media, digital marketing, PR, expos in China, WeChat mini programs, WeChat official account, kind of bridging the UK and China, or the West and China. I work with other countries as well. That's kind of what I focus on. So lots of opportunities ahead. But if anyone has any questions, or just get in touch, I'm quite easy to find all over social media. Bai De Han, my Chinese name. And yeah, I'm all over LinkedIn, all over the platforms. It's pretty easy to find me. So yeah, lots of content coming, guys. Lots of positive news, and appreciate the support. There's been some really good questions tonight, really good comments, and yeah, good news ahead. So good to see UK-China relations on their way to moving in the right direction. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut that there. Thank you so much, ladies and gents. Appreciate your support. And I hope you have a wonderful day and evening ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.